In the year 1872, the Atlantic Ocean stretched endlessly beneath the dark and cloudy sky. Gray waves rolled slowly across the cold sea while a lonely sailing ship drifted across the water. That ship was the Mary Celeste. From a distance, it looked like any other merchant vessel traveling across the ocean. Its sails were still raised, and the ship moved quietly with the wind. But something about it felt strangely empty. Not far away, another merchant ship sailed through the same waters. This vessel was called the Dei Gratia. As the sailors carried out their normal duties on deck, one of them suddenly noticed something unusual on the horizon. A ship was drifting slowly in the distance, moving in an odd and uncertain way. Curious, a sailor lifted his telescope and focused it on the strange vessel. As he looked closer, confusion crossed his face. The ship appeared to be in good condition, yet something was clearly wrong. There were no sailors visible on deck. No one was steering the ship, and no crew members were moving around the sails. The sailor quickly reported this to the captain of the Dei Gratia. After hearing the report, the captain stepped forward and looked toward the mysterious vessel. Fog slowly began to roll across the ocean as the wind picked up. The captain decided they needed to investigate and ordered the ship to move closer. As the Dei Gratia approached, the strange vessel slowly came into clear view. Its sails were partially open and ropes swung gently in the wind. The wooden ship creaked as waves tapped against its hull. But the most disturbing detail remained the same. The deck was completely silent. The captain made a decision. A small boarding party would row across to the drifting ship and investigate. A small boat was lowered into the water from the Dei Gratia. A few sailors climbed inside and began rowing across the dark waves toward the silent vessel. The ocean moved slowly beneath them as they approached the mysterious ship. When they reached the vessel, the sailors grabbed the ropes hanging along its side and carefully climbed aboard. The moment their boots touched the wooden deck of the Mary Celeste, the boards creaked beneath them. The entire ship felt eerily quiet. The sailors began exploring the deck. Everything looked normal. The ropes were in place, the sails were intact, and cargo barrels remained tied down exactly as they should be. Nothing seemed damaged or out of order. Yet there were no people anywhere. One sailor slowly approached the captain's cabin. He reached for the door and pushed it open. The wooden door swung inward with a loud creaking sound that echoed through the silent ship. Inside the cabin, everything appeared untouched. Maps were spread across the table. Navigational tools rested neatly beside them. Personal belongings were still in place, as if the captain had simply stepped away for a moment. Then one of the sailors discovered the ship's logbook. He carefully opened it and examined the final pages. The last entry had been written only a few days earlier in the year 1872. Nothing unusual was recorded in the log. The sailors exchanged uneasy looks. If the ship had been functioning normally just days earlier, what had happened to everyone on board? As they continued their search, the men noticed another strange detail. The ship itself was seaworthy and capable of sailing, but the lifeboat was missing. They moved deeper into the vessel to inspect the cargo hold. There they discovered hundreds of barrels filled with alcohol, still sealed and perfectly intact. Nothing appeared stolen or damaged. Next they checked the kitchen area. Plates and utensils were still sitting where they had been left. It looked as if someone had suddenly stopped eating and walked away without warning. Outside, the wind began to rise stronger, and thick fog slowly surrounded the abandoned ship. The ocean grew darker and colder. One sailor stood quietly on the deck of the Mary Celeste, staring out across the endless ocean. His mind filled with questions. What could possibly cause an entire crew to abandon a ship that was still perfectly capable of sailing? The crew continued searching the vessel. The camera of our imagination moved slowly through empty corridors and silent cabins. Beds were unmade, and personal belongings remained scattered throughout the rooms. Everything suggested the crew had left suddenly. Meanwhile, the mysterious ship continued drifting quietly through the thick ocean fog, moving slowly with the wind like a ghost ship lost at sea. Later, the sailors from the Dei Gratia gathered together and discussed what might have happened. Some believed a sudden storm or sea disturbance might have frightened the crew. Others suggested panic, mutiny, or an unknown emergency that forced everyone to escape into the lifeboat. But no theory could fully explain the mystery. In the end, the Mary Celeste continued drifting across the Atlantic Ocean, silent and empty. No clear answer was ever discovered. To this day, the fate of the ship's captain and crew remains unknown. A ship in perfect condition, cargo untouched, meals left unfinished, and an entire crew that vanished without a trace. The ocean kept its secret, and the legend of the Mary Celeste became one of the greatest maritime mysteries in history.